I'll say this: load management. Like, what is this load management? Michael Jordan tried to play 82 games every year. These guys tried to play 82 games every year. Now these guys play 1 game a week, and they're like, oh, I got to sit out 2 because, man, I am tired from that plane flight from Cleveland to Detroit. It is exhausting to have to play the next day. It's that 40-minute flight, man. I can't do it.
Some teams force that hand.
Why? If I'm a paying person and I go to an NBA game, let's say I want to go watch the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And they have LeBron James, right? Who everyone says is,
and you paid a lot.
And I paid a lot of money to go to this game. And he's like, I'm tired. I don't want to play.
Well, he doesn't say that. The team says
the team says it
they
for him.
schedule off days just like they do in baseball.
Okay,
it's a huge problem in basketball.
It is a huge problem. But the thing about baseball, I don't know how. I think Kratz would agree with me on this. When I came up with Tom Kelly, and we were in the Metrodome, he would always try to give star players days off on the road, because people think if I'm going to come see Kirby Puckett. Metrodome had a roof. Wasn't going to be a rain out. Knew we were going to play. Kirby Puckett's going to play at home. I'm driving in from Iowa. I'm driving in from South Dakota. I'm driving in from wherever you live. But I'm a Twins fan. I want to see Kirby Puckett play.
NBA does the same thing. They sit their guys more on the road than they do at home. I guarantee.
But they still sit guys at home.
They do, but I guarantee it's way heavier tilted towards the road with the same concept in mind. I'm the owner of the team. Hey, you need to give your guy a blow in 1 out of the 3 games this week, or that's what the team staff feels. Let's pick that game in Utah.
The only day off I was ever told I got was in the 2006 All-Star game. We played 19 innings, the last game of the before the All-Star break, and I caught all 19. And then we flew to Pittsburgh, and Ozzie Guillen was our manager, and he was the manager of the All-Star team, and he's like, "You're not playing no matter what happens. Unless we get an absolute something crazy happens, you're not going to play, so just enjoy the game."
Did you want to play?
I mean, it was an All-Star game, of course, but at the end of the day, he's like, "Yeah, he's feeding me drinks." And
he was feeding you drinks?
Wasn't the worst thing in the world.
You had a cocktail during the game?
I cheered my ass off for our team. We won. Got Trevor Hoffman in the 9th inning to win.
Did you have a cocktail during the game?
No, maybe. At one point, it was a weird situation. It actually almost happened where I was going to have to go play, because if we would have tied, we took the lead in the 9th, top of the 9th it was Trevor Hoffman. I think Michael Young hit a triple, I think, to give us the lead. And then we had Mariano coming in, and Ozzie's like, "Hey, if they tie the game, you're going to have to pinch hit," because somehow we ended up where I was the last guy left, and I think we burned our DH. I don't know how it all played out, but he's like, "You're going to have to hit." And I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" And he looked at me and he's like, "Just go stand up there." I was like, "Okay." And we
Take pitches.
But it didn't end up happening.
If you had a few cocktails, you could still rip a homer.
I've tested that theory.
And successful, right?
I've tested that theory.
There you go.
Leave it at that.
I will. The Yankees' facial hair policy is ridiculous and inappropriate at this point. To be able to tell someone how they should have their freaking hair set up on their face.
It's their team.
Get the fuck out of here. It's
their team.
So tired. You're telling people how they have to look as a human being now. That needs to be retired.
I write your checks. If I write your check, if I write your check,
terrible.
If I write you a check to Scott Braun Enterprises, and I'm foul territory, and I own your contract,
where does it stop? Where's the line?
Facial hair and hair.
No.
They don't tell them anything else.
No.
Do they, Kratz?
Not in today's
world. They don't tell them anything else.
Almost any other organization cannot tell a legitimate
White
organization.
Sox made me cut my hair once.
Okay, but that was a while ago. I'm saying now the Yankees are the only team that have that anymore.
No.
I think the Marlins had it for a minute.
Because Don Mattingly had it.
Right, because Jeter and them brought it over. But I'm just saying, like, you cannot tell your employees how they look. Can you have blue hair? You can't have blue hair? I don't know. It's too much for me.
Wait, you
just
can't?
Live your life.
I think you can tell your employees. I mean, if you have a handbook, if you have an employee handbook, and that's where it comes from. I mean, it's back in the day. I remember Jim Crane, when I went to Houston, he came into the locker room, into the weight room, and he was like, we were joking about Dallas Keuchel's beard. Keuchel was in there. You know, Keuchel spends thousands of dollars to get that thing like perfectly trimmed down the way it is. And Jim's like, in any other of my businesses, nobody can have a beard like that. And yet in this business, it's almost like you should have a beard. You have to have a beard. So I think the Yankees are more like other companies that, hey, you know what? If you're a financial guy, if you're an insurance agent, if you're so many other things, You got to shave. You got to have. You can't have a beard.